Welcome back to episode 13. And we didn't even save it till Friday the 13th.
We should have.
What a damn shame. But we've had to wait another
Welcome
week.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 17, where we'll just completely throw this out of order.
This one's kind of almost a part two to our other music one, where some things got out of hand. Like Louise screaming porn music and moaning and clapping. TJ saying old school rap was terrible. And my alleged saying that Katy Perry is better than the Beatles.
You did.
I never said she was better than the Beatles.
You said the best album of all time, and I'll vouch for that.
It's factually correct.
No. Just because all the little teeny boppers went out.
No, listen, that's why me and Tyler developed a system to sort this out.
All right, what is this system before we go into
What
detail?
I factually said is correct with the number one hits. That is absolutely correct. The issue is it's not fair to compare the Beatles to Katy Perry. Just because, like, the example would be, if Justin Bieber has 15 number one hit songs, is he the best artist of all time? No. It's because we live in an age where everybody's, like, into weird, dumb shit like that. So we broke it down.
How many number one hits on the album?
What?
How many number one hits on the album did she have?
Like, I think she had 10. The Beatles had 9.
Are you sure? They probably only put 9 songs on the album.
She had 12. I think,
No, I meant the Beatles.
Dude, it's not relevant. I got a system here. So to clarify, I never said Katy Perry is better than the Beatles.
Notice he is backtracking after all
Not
the hate he
backtracking.
received.
Clarifying. I might have spelled it correctly.
Josh clarified.
So this is how me and Tyler divided it up. You can only judge music in a 1 decade basis. So 80s music,
that's fair enough.
Together. 90s together. Well, Justin Bieber's Baby had 49 billion views. Nobody cares because YouTube wasn't big when the fucking Beatles or Motley Crue or somebody was developing shit.
Look at the sun coming in.
Yeah, it's
the sun is like,
it's 9:44 a.m. We're still recording. It's kind of odd. We're normally recording as the sun goes down.
Like, if I had a magnifying lens, I'm pretty sure I could, like,
but me and Tyler
on fire.
Don't agree on much, and this system we thought was great. Just do it by decade. So it's fair. If you compare Taylor Swift to Katy Perry, that's a fair comparison. Just you don't want to do 80s.
She might have more number ones than Katy Perry.
No, she does. And Katy Perry don't have a Grammy.
That's like
Taylor Swift just... So we'll start with the 80s. What were some of the best music from the 80s that you liked?
I don't even know if they're from the 80s or if they're 70s.
It's like I just wrote down some artists from the 80s, like
Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and AC/DC.
Yeah, DC.
I'm not sure if those are the 80s. Those might be late 70s.
Well, Michael Jackson started in the 80s. Madonna started in the 80s.
Madonna.
So did U2, David Bowie, Queen, Wham, Aerosmith, Elton John. Elton John became big in the 80s.
Did you just look up every 80s artist and write them down?
No, I just Googled, because there's some that I don't listen to that are very popular that everybody, like, I don't listen to David Bowie, but he's one of the biggest ever. I don't listen to Johnny Cash. He's one of the biggest ever.
Dude,
I still got to name them just because I don't like them. They were some of the big ones.
And we'll just make Johnny Cash the best artist of all time.
So what were some of your favorite stuff from the 80s?
Johnny Cash.
That's it?
Well, see, these are kind of complicated because they still play. Is it just music made?
Yeah, made. Like, its time was the 80s.
I don't listen to the 80s. Just any classic rock song. And not that sappy bullshit that you listen to.
What?
Like,
speaking of mine, Def Leppard.
No, they
is one of my favorites.
You need, like...
Journey. Pink Floyd.
All these people were made for, like, the women of the 80s. Yes.
No,
there was 2 genres in the 80s. It was like, I'm gonna go burn your house down, rock and roll, and then there is, the more mellow stuff for the women, which just happens to be your favorite.
They're all up.
Like Journey and Def Leppard, they were women's. It's basically what pop is today. That was the pop music.
We'll skip your part of the worst of the 80s. His worst of the 80s would be Everything I Like. My worst of the 80s, I didn't like Madonna. I didn't like U2. I didn't like most of the popular stuff.
U2 is one of those bands where they made 8,000 songs, and
they made a lot.
Like 10 of them are good.
It's like Snoop Dogg. He's like, I got 10 albums. Like, bro, you have 3 songs.
And
Drop It Like It's Hot.
They all feature
the next
another famous
episode,
artist.
and he's featured in it. It's not even his. So we'll go to the 90s. 90s is kind of when the music started to change.
Man, what even happened to the 90s?
Nirvana, Britney Spears, Young Britney's, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys,
yeah,
Dr. Dre
favorite.
debuted, Eminem debuted, Green Day debuted,
All the boy bands.
Destiny's
of the
Child,
90s.
Celine Dion, Vanilla Ice.
Destiny's Child.
We got the Black Eyed Peas, Where's the Love at the very end,
Ugh.
like 1999.
I hated Black Eyed Peas.
But that was like the jam to start out 2000 because the world was ending.
I can't stand Fergie.
So we'll go with some of the best.
Was that even out
That came out.
for Y2K?
Yeah, it came out in 1999.
Did it really?
I was looking that up this morning. Because I put them with the 2000s because that's really when they took off. But
Limp Bizkit. Linkin Park came out in the 90s too, didn't they?
Yep.
Before they went to crap.
Yeah, we'll go with some of the
first 3 albums were good after that.
We'll do worst first. I only have a couple. Barbie Girl, I can't stand it. That got popular in the 90s. I wasn't into Ricky Martin. I didn't get it.
To be fair, he had 2 songs.
Yeah, and that was enough.
And everybody liked him because all the women were like, "Oh my god, I want to marry Ricky Martin." Then because he didn't tell anybody he was gay.
Yeah, well, that's not even relevant.
And then after he retired,
his songs are just terrible.
No.
Speaking of
Living the Vida Loca.
So about boy bands, there's one boy band that did not make it in the 90s. That was 98 Degrees.
That's cute.
They're still trying today. I think they're together again. Is Nick Lachey in that new group? We'll have to Google that later.
I don't know. Or they make a new group?
Yeah, no, I think they just got back together.
I don't think that you can have a boy band in today's age.
Mamba Number 5, I hated that too.
There's a few girl groups that are trying to make it, and they're not doing that great either.
No, this ain't a band group type of era we're in now. Some of my favorite: Britney Spears, Backstreet Boys, Eminem. Eminem was huge when I was growing up, listening to all his stuff.
That's back when he was controversial.
Early Green Day,
killing his mom.
Dr. Dre. That was back when Snoop and Dre and
Green
NWA stuff was kind of out back then as well. I think in the 90s.
Yeah, it started off in the 90s. That's when they
Straight Outta Compton.
That's why it's so.
90s is one of the better eras of music as well. That's where a lot of stuff that we have today started. Like the Beatles laid the groundwork for the 90s. The 90s kind of laid the groundwork for the...
That's
it's
another
just funny
thing
how
too,
far music's came.
Because when you talk about people like that, like some of these 80s artists were making music in the 90s and still making music, so they would count in that time frame too, wouldn't they?
Yeah, because we can get to some of those coming up because we're going to have some of the same names. So when we get to the 2000s, the world didn't end yet. The best-selling album from 2000 to 2010 was Speaker Box and The Love Below by Outkast. That was the highest-selling album of that decade.
I could see.
So that's kind of when, like, Stankonia came out in 2002, Miss Jackson, So Fresh, So Clean.
That's back when Ludacris was big.
Ludacris dropped Word of Mouth in 2001.
Yeah. NERD.
Dude, he's dropped 6 albums between 2000 and now. Like Red Light District.
Yeah, some of those last ones though weren't that great.
Yeah, he was pretty much all over. Rihanna started in 2000. Nelly,
yeah.
Usher, Beyonce, Lil Wayne, Shaggy, Black Eyed Peas, Kanye, Timberlake, Shakira,
Gucci Man,
Ludacris, Gaga, Katy Perry, Tay Sway. Still Eminem's holding it down in 2000. There's plenty more, dude. There's tons. 2000's like the biggest era of music. We just had a bunch of people come in all at the same time.
I think Gucci Man won that era.
Gucci Man came into that era as well. T.I. got really big in 2000s when he got sent to jail.
T.I. has a lot of hits, but they're not all on one.
Some of the work. Should I get the negatives out of the way? Aaron Carter was terrible.
Oh, speaking of the 90s, late 90s, Slipknot came out.
I think I had them in 2000s.
No, it came out in like 99, I think. Very end of... They just barely made it.
And my worst for 2000s, I also have Ricky Martin because he's still... I think that's when he tried his other song. Christina Aguilera, never was a big fan of hers.
Enrique.
He wouldn't be on my worst. Jonas Brothers on my worst.
But they paved the way for your favorite band, One Direction.
Shut up. And it was a huge decade for me, dude, because I listen to Rihanna, Nelly, pretty much everything I named. Like Lil Wayne.
Dude, you're killing me with that pumpkin. It's making this weird. It sounds like an earthquake every time you tap it on the table.
This page, I need a new notebook. Hey, send us some money to our Facebook page so Josh can buy another notebook. I didn't want to buy a whole new one for Josh's Junk, so I just marked EcoCast out.
They're literally like 25 cents. I'm pretty sure you can buy a pack of like $4 for $1.
Hashtag help Josh buy a notebook. Hashtag Shane, please feed your family.
Beep.
I mean, fucking donuts, dude. You buy them for your family too. But back on the subject, I know for you, because kind of as much shit as you talk about my genre of music, we kind of do have the same taste nowadays.
Oh, and Godsmack came out back then too, the 90s.
I'm looking at something ahead of us, which you can insert a picture of again, what you did on the last one. But like somebody I'm staring at was that's an Umbrella dropped in 2004.
We should try and take a picture of us standing on either side.
And that should be like the profile picture.
We'll have to do that. That'd be a good one.
Something Ron will be over later.
I don't want we can taking the picture. It'll look lopsided.
Anyway, what are some of the biggest 2000s?
Marilyn Manson, Slipknot. It's basically everybody I still listen to and everything I keep saying over and over and over. Eminem, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Slipknot, Marilyn Manson. Rob Zombie came out then too, which he came from White Zombie. White Zombie might have been released.
Dude, pretty much with 2010, it's almost there's not much different. There's not many different people from 2000 to now. Like Bruno Mars debuted in 2011.
Did you get Nelly?
Yeah, Nelly's in 2000. Lil Wayne was still going. Drake started in 2011. Kesha started in 2010. Derulo started in 2012.
Beyonce went solo. Jay-Z.
Sean Kingston debuted in 2013. Kevin Rudolph in 13. Britney Spears is still going. The Chainsmokers debuted in 2015. DJ Khaled became huge in 2010 that's when We're Taking Over and I'm So Hood came out.
He basically only does like singles though.
Yeah, he just jumps on and says another one.
another one. I
mean, some stuff I listen to now is like
the best music.
Lil Wayne's kind of done now. That was kind of his early 2010s. He doesn't make nothing anymore.
I think Lil Wayne was done after his third album.
Well, that's another discussion. Katy Perry's kind of at the end, or hopefully
she needs to retire. And
Britney Spears is still coming out with random songs, but like right now, Chainsmokers is put out the best quality album I've heard in a while, from like first song to end. Tay Sway's new album has potential with her whole new attitude.
I can't wait. November 10th.
I guess this is where the difference between me and TJ is, because on my worst music, I have all trap music. I know Lucas likes some trap music, but
when you're just sitting there like...
It's kind of one of those things where it's like one person can ruin it for everybody else. And Fetty Wap ruined trap music, so it's done. And the fact TJ could sit where Chucky's standing and say, old school rap sucks. We needed to do a podcast about that.
I think rap went to shit when Nate Dogg died.
What do you want to see in music going forward to make it better? Because we are kind of at the low point of music right now.
Well, it's never going to happen, but I really wish auto-tune was never invented. There's not one person in music today that is not using auto-tune. And
that's what I wrote
keep
down.
in mind, it's not like the over-exaggerated auto-tune like freaking T-Pain where you can tell he's using auto-tune.
You mean he doesn't sound that way?
No. But every singer, every person going into a studio, there is a little bit of auto-tune to get them sounding good.
That's what I wrote. No real music, all just beats made on computer. No one actually writes music anymore.
And that's one thing about like going to a concert. You're going to get a good concert anytime you go see a rock band.
Puddle Bud.
Yeah, whatever. And that's only because they're actually up there playing their instruments. Every concert you go to, like a rock concert or anything like that, it's going to sound each one's going to sound different because they're actually playing music. They don't go there, they hit play on their laptop and they sing over a beat.
Well, you're kind of segueing as to the next, pretty much our our final question, which I didn't write on the board.
What?
Which decade do you think produced the best music? And for people that's going to bitch, like, oh my God, you didn't do the 40s and 30s. I only did the decades that I can remember. I mean, I'm 27 years old, so I barely remember the 80s. I was born in 90, so give me a f***ing break.
Is best and creative separate?
No.
Because I was going to say old school rock as the best. Cause
I'd almost go with 80s.
Because that was creative. They had to sit down and make their music, and it still holds up, all these years later.
Like, my order
but
would be...
as far as, like...
My order would legitimately just be these in order.
But as far as best music, it'd probably be very late 90s, early 2000s.
80s, 90s. I'll go 80s.
I guess that would be for pop music. So you got to break it down.
Yeah, because 90s developed a lot of the music we have now.
Rock would be like mid 80s, late 70s. And then pop music would be late 90s, early 2000s, like before 2010.
Yeah, 2010's the worst era so far.
And then this, whatever generation we're in now, just needs to go eat a bowl of dicks, because it's terrible.
Yeah, our future ain't bright.
But if you look back in history, like about every 30 years, things just change.
We hit it.
And hopefully we're at...
It looks like it was 80s to 2010s, our shit changed.
Hopefully we're nearing the end of this, whatever bullshit we're into now, and just resets.
It seems like people today, or that I talk to at least, are more reluctant to listen to the music that comes out today. Most people still listen to most of my friends just listen to much older stuff still. Like, nobody's listening to top 40 music right now. They're listening to Tom Petty a lot, because he just unfortunately passed past week.
You just found out who he was like 3 days ago.
I knew who Tom Petty was. Everybody just thinks I'm a fucking retard.
You're like, who's Tom Petty?
Yeah. I told Tyler, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just sitting here listening to Tom Petty. He's like, oh my God. And I was like, I know who Tom Petty is. And I was like, the guy from Free Fall, and he's like, oh my God, I know that's what you said. I was like, yeah, that's why I said it, because I know you'd piss me off. Mary Jane's, that's my favorite song.
I don't like Tom Petty.
So what do we got coming up, Lucas? We're still doing our poll.
Yeah.
Since we recorded that podcast about 20 minutes ago. I'm pretty sure the results are still the same as what I said in the last one. Single ladies firmly ahead.
I still think you should sing a Johnny Cash song.
People didn't request any. Well, Ring of Fire's on the list.
Yeah, you said you didn't want to sing it.
Well, nobody's voting for it. I don't have a choice.
Well, just like this board talking about music, do you really think anybody's going to vote for Johnny Cash? No.
Maybe.
They're going to vote for the most popular song.
Single Ladies ain't the most popular song.
People like to, when someone says something's nice, everybody tends to get behind them and form a little group.
You saying I should start a boy band?
A solo boy band?
Solo.
We never mentioned Justin Timberlake. That's probably one artist that completely changed his future. He left a boy band, already famous, but instead of making that same gushy, crappy music, he became this really talented artist.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's going to sing at the Super Bowl this year.
Maybe his concerts, like you see him on... Like, he's up there singing with, 85 different people, and they're all playing a single instrument. And it's like, he puts on a good show, it seems like.
Justin Timberlake. He also makes Elise flip his shit when his music comes on the radio.
Oh my God, Justin Timberlake.
I think I'm around.
See.
Despacito, Chucky. Chucky's been joining us past couple podcasts. How you liking it, Chucky? He still ain't feeling it. He's got the beats. We told him it was Halloween, but he likes the Christmas hat, so.
Yeah.
Got a few decorations in here. Always Rihanna. Straight in front of me. Well, Lucas, this was what, episode 13?
Yeah, time to wrap it up. Bye.
We're gonna wrap this one up. We hope to do one with TJ and Ron. We're attempting to. No promises.
Oh, Ron's probably too busy napping, so
Yeah. Ron said that we're gonna shoot one, so hopefully
sleepy time with Ron.
he's probably got a nap between now and then to get ready for it. It is now 10:02 on Saturday morning. Me and Lucas are going to wrap it up and actually try to get out in the living world for a while.
You need to go ride our bikes, get some exercise.
Do something. Just going to wrap this up.
Bye.
Lucas, once again, you're too early.
Oh.
You got to wait till I say, Lucas, say something to the people. Then you say something. Lucas.
What?
You tell them bye so we can end it.
Oh, bye.
God.